Now we got to be all serious again.
Yeah, we got
great stories.
Yeah, and so many
stories,
off-camera laughs. You should have turned it on. Yeah.
We're not good enough actors to pretend to do it over again.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, we're back. Original father-son voiceover podcast. Todd, Dad, Joe, Drew, John, Mike. Mike, thanks for joining us again. Mike, I'm just introducing you as a Wisconsin Heights grad, UW Badger grad player, professional basketball player. That's all I'm doing. So we kind of left off. We talked a little bit about your Badger career. I think do we have some of those clips ready to go? So we have a couple clips, some highlights and stuff. We tried to pick from the DVDs that we were given. So we just wanted to go through. What's that? Oh, sure. So we just wanted to run through a couple of these. We have some of the games. Joe can speak up too a little bit because we watched them together. But just wanted to go through some of these highlights and games and get maybe some of your reaction to some of those. So I don't know. Can you see that okay?
Nope.
Okay.
So I think the first game that we have on here is Michigan State at home your senior year.
Okay.
And so I think it was either you guys at that time had a 37 game home winning streak.
Yes.
Or it was either 36 and that was going to be 37, or it was 37 going to be 38.
I think it was one of those two because it was just before we played Illinois, I believe, a couple games before, maybe.
Okay. But you guys were down towards the end by maybe like 5 or 6 points, and it was looking pretty bleak. And so we have just some like just bring kind of some highlights for you, and then towards the end.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you can
just
talk. Feel free to just
say.
feel free to say pause it, or if you have something to add, because we'd like to maybe have some story or whatever.
Oops. It's all right. Pretty good players on that Michigan State team.
Yeah, a few of them played in the NBA. A lot of seniors.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, we didn't start off real good in this game.
No.
Do you like Ed Hightower as a ref?
Yeah, I mean, the refs all talk to me a little bit, and they let me get away.
Okay.
I got away with some stuff, and they'd always let me know if it was too much or not enough. And
That's always nice. Have a conversation.
Yep.
Drew Neitzel.
It's nice when they guard me with small people. Yeah. Paul Davis was a handful to play against, though. He's not a small guy.
How tall was he?
6'10".
Okay, yeah.
He was 6'10", you said?
He's 6'10". Yeah, he's 6'10", and he was probably 260.
Oh, wow.
250, 260.
Did you have... I know that I'm obviously not a very big guy, but other guys that play in the post, I mean, Dad has talked about in the past where, you know, sometimes smaller, thicker guys would get into his legs and he would have a harder time with that. Whereas tall guys, he could get into their body. Did you have a specific size, you know, like 6'10", 6'11", that you felt comfortable with, or did you not mind playing guys your size?
It was always different. I mean, I played against some guys that were 6'10", 6'11", they were 350 pounds, and it didn't matter. You couldn't move them.
Okay.
I mean, but I definitely felt that playing against some smaller guys was more of a challenge.
Yeah.
Especially smaller guys that spent their whole time playing in the post.
Okay.
Because it was all about who made contact first. So if you had small guys that didn't want to make contact first, then they were easy to play against.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to just fight you the whole time, they always tried to get lower than you were, and then you have to change how you play. So either you face them up or something to get them off you, and then you can play. But yeah, it just presents different challenges.
And what was maybe one of the taller guys you played, like in college, let's say? What was one of the taller guys you ever played against?
I mean, we played against plenty of guys that were 6'10", 6'11",
Okay.
7 foot. Guy from, but that's the thing. You play against some of the guys from Temple that were 6'10", 6'11", 350 pounds is one thing to play against, and then you play against a guy from Tennessee that's 6'11", and 210 pounds and super athletic. So it's just very different styles of games.
Yeah.
But one of the things we notice here, which I remember, is you do get very low on people. When you're posting up or guarding them, you get lower than them.
It's a lot easier to keep your ground when you're lower than their center. They can't push you out of the way,
Exactly.
but you just have to make sure that you keep your balance enough that you don't end up falling down.
Yeah.
The other thing I appreciated is just the way you guys move the ball. It's kind of nice to watch. It's kind of refreshing.
Well,
because that doesn't happen so much
no,
nowadays.
he's a lot more dribble drive now. The game's changed a lot that way. But I mean, playing defense, it's easier to play defense when the ball is staying on one side or not moving because you find your position. You know where your guy that you're guarding is, and you can help a lot more. When you're trying to fight through schemes and move, now your help defense is not the same as it is when you can just stand there and not have to worry.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe and I were watching some of these DVDs of old games, and it's just, I mean, there was nothing flashy about that Badger team, in my opinion. There was nothing very flashy, but you just, the ball was moving a lot, and, posting up and, moving on the backside, moving without the ball it's just a lot of, that's kind of basketball I like to play and I like to watch because you just get everybody involved, and it's just a lot of fun to watch.
Well, this also makes a difference too. Like everything's based timing wise. So you're moving the ball. There's no reason to post up when the ball's on the other side of the court because now you have to hold your possession all the way around the court. So you wait and you let the defense, you walk your defender down, and then when you post up right when the ball's going to the wing. Yeah. Because if your timing's off, people can't make the pass anyway.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's the biggest thing you see now with a lot of this stuff is someone's making a cut, and then the guy that can pass him the ball is not ready to pass him the ball, so they can't pass it to him even if he's open.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So, and then I was just going to point out, I think that Zach Morley there, I think he was I just saw that he was reffing in a WIAA state tournament game.
Yep, Zach played overseas, and I played against him a few times when I was overseas, but he's reffed a bunch of WIAA stuff now, and he enjoys it, and not a lot of people yell at him too much. A little bit here and there. He seems to be around basketball a little bit more than some of the referees, but he says he enjoys it. So
his hairstyle has changed since his college days.
He said it was a whole lot easier to just shave it off and not have to worry about having someone cut it overseas.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So he did that overseas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just a hairline thing, but it was just more of a.
It was starting to recede a little bit, and he didn't want to deal with trying to explain to someone how to cut it when they don't speak English, and so it just decided to go, and it's just stuck.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I see, I don't know about the Davis guy if he made it to the NBA or not.
He did.
But then Shannon Brown, who ended up playing for the Lakers, I think he won a championship with them.
Yep.
And then Alan Anderson.
Yep. Alan Anderson played for.
Those are the ones I know.
The Hornets, I believe.
Okay.
And then Drew played overseas, and Ager played overseas, and Torbert, I don't believe, did.
How about Hill? Did Hill play anywhere?
Hill played overseas.
Okay. All right.
Did any of the players you played with here, did they play overseas on the Badger here, like Clayton?
Tucker played in the NBA for a while and then went overseas. Morley played overseas right from the start. Clayton Clayton lives in New York now, I believe. He went into the stock market and banking or financing stuff. Cam has played overseas for a little bit now. He said he had his own clothing line at one point. But I can't remember what Tucker's doing now. I just saw him. He was down at All-Star Weekend, and his kid got Kevin Durant's jersey, his throwback jersey from when the Suns just played. It was his Durant's second game playing.
Wow.
And it was crazy because he was talking about it on Facebook, and it was he said something about just getting my son just got the throwback jersey from the guy that was number one in the Player of the Year voting, and I was number 2.
Wow. That's a nice little
nice piece.
benefit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So we go ahead. You can just spin through here. Nice little pass.
That good left hand you guys have.
I didn't know Chambliss played at Penn State. I didn't realize that.
I miss Vern Lundquist calling games.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's nice to have Vern and Billy Packer calling your name. I thought that'd be kind of fun to have them talk about you.
Do you remember the atmosphere at the Kohl Center? Was it electric?
It was always awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you provide big games like this, and the fans, you put together a run and it get loud in there, and I mean, it was unbelievable.
Do you remember running out like the first time your freshman year or whatever, even when you knew you weren't playing, was that heart going quite a bit?
Well, I got spoiled being our senior year. Every gym we played in was packed.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you go to play. The JV was having fun because the gym was full when they were playing.
Yeah.
So you got used to those crowds, and it made such a big difference. Just the extra energy being around it. And even we go on the road, and you take that negative energy from places. When it was real loud, you just figure out ways to feed off of that and play. Like Michigan State, at least I love when people would say stuff. Or I mean, there's just the competitor. I mean, this is what you live for.
Yeah.
What was the hardest? What was the hardest place to play, in your opinion? I mean, just
the hardest place to play. I mean, it was more about shooting backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah,
like it was always hard to play at Northwestern because it was just such a different. There was no space behind the basket. It's more like a high school gym.
Okay.
Or you get you play in those high school gyms. They have like the checkerboard patterns right behind the basket. It kind of throws off the depth perception. Or when we played in like the football arenas where you'd look and it'd just be space behind one end, and you're like, well, that changes how everything's kind of viewed because you never really think about it, but it's just all reaction.
Yeah.
Well, maybe when you're practicing too, there's nobody there when you're behind that, and then all of a sudden there's people.
Oh, I mean, you never even pay attention to that. Like, I could be out on the floor and you'd be playing basketball, and you could hear the coach crystal clear across the court, no matter how loud it was in there. And I mean, I played in some places where by the time you were done, your ears were ringing.
What was one of the loudest opposing places you played in?
Michigan State and Illinois are always two of the ones.
Okay.
Purdue is always real loud just because it was all concrete and everything just echoed so much in there. I mean, you bounce a basketball and it was loud just bouncing a basketball in practice with no one there. But places like that. Indiana was always loud. I mean, we were always good, so we always got big crowds wherever we wanted to go. Everyone wanted to beat us.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where you guys are coming back.
Clayton had a good game shooting. We were watching. He had a good game shooting at the end, especially.
I mean, that's what he did.
Yeah. 4 of 6. Wow. No.
Multiple defensive stops here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game was without Tucker. I don't think he was playing this game.
He was hurt.
I think.
He wasn't much help.
He started out, right?
Oh, he started out?
But he was
back.
kind of limping around and stuff. He wasn't great. At least that's what I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was with that.
Foul or not, Mike?
Well, you jump into me.
Yeah,
I understand. Your hands are straight up, and once you make contact, I mean, that was always something I did is once you make contact, well, where do your hands naturally go? They always come down. And that's that everyone always, once you make contact, everyone always turns or puts the ball out. I got so many like tips or deflections. Even now, I still do that at open gym. Everyone, you knock someone back and they stick the ball out trying to get their own balance back. And the amount of times you find hands or something and stuff doesn't get called, it's...
Well, they agreed with you, so.
Yeah.
Good no call.
Yeah, there you go.
No good.
He says
Yeah,
it.
that's gospel.
Yeah. Morley finishing Anderson off there with
I mean,
just a little pile drive.
I couldn't jump, so I just stood my ground most of the time.
Yeah.
That was one of those bone crushing, well, close to.
I remember that. So that play there is set up to just supposed to go off.
Okay.
And they got lazy on it
Yeah.
and kept going under to one of those things where I told them that I was just going to give it back to him.
Uh-huh.
And there was no one there.
Yeah. So you were supposed to take it high post there
So
and turn?
it's he passes it to me and he cuts off me every time and we come back to the same side.
Okay.
And you do it enough times and then the defender starts getting lazy, and you start to go and then you just toss it back to him and the defender was just, he started going under and now you got to go under two people and then by that time you're already too late to get back.
So take us late game in like a huddle, when coach calls a timeout. A lot of times now, and maybe it's different. I'm sure it's different from coaching staff to coaching staff. But did you find, like for Bo Ryan, was he normally the guy drawing up the play, or did he have assistants sometimes that would do that?
I think most of the time he was the guy drawing up the play. But I mean, we'd run a play. And we knew what they were doing most of the time. So we talk about, this is going to be open, or this is what we were looking for off of certain things, because we were always looking to take advantage of mismatches or matchups here and there. But like that one, it was like, we want to get the ball inside. And I remember telling Cam that, because we've done that in several games, but when people start to get lazy, we take advantage of that, and we cleared out that whole side, so there's only one guy in the corner. Would you help off that and you get a wide open shot in the corner then, because you're never supposed to help all side, and everyone else is involved in action on the strong side. So
yeah. So at least Bo Ryan, he would a lot of times kind of feedback. You would feed back and forth with each other, like, hey, this is what we're seeing.
He'd tell us what we'd want, and then we just go out and talk about this is what's going to be off of what we're seeing in the huddle. I mean,
so you'd run the play, but communicate within that play what you're looking at.
What we're looking at. He'd tell us what he wants to get out of it, and then we'd be like, well, this is what we're going to see. If he goes under this, we're going to do this.
Okay.
That type of stuff. Like if he got lazy again and didn't fight over the top, then that's what we were going to do. And it just, Cam made a big shot.
Yeah.
So I think it's now 60 to 59 with some, maybe like a minute and a half left or so.
So I bet you it's rocking in there right now.
Oh, it was just, yeah. See, he was playing way off there to begin with. He's just getting lazy.
Yeah.
21 seconds left, I guess. Another good stop.
Yeah, that's what he needs to make. But it's amazing how hard it is to actually make a shot when someone's standing there just straight up and down, and you're trying to jump into them and they don't move.
Yeah.
So this is 38.
Right. Yeah, this would have been 38.
Yep. So this is the game before we play Illinois at home.
And they're
the ones that beat us.
Weren't they ranked number one that year?
They were number one almost the entire year.
Wow.
They had
a good team.
Brown, yep.
Brown, yeah.
Augustine.
Yep, that was a good team.
They only lost one game in the regular
You
season.
see Morley, I don't think he thought he was going to make
100%
that.
sure.
He went right away. He stepped over, yeah. He wasn't looking to slap anybody's hand either.
Then you gave him a little confidence here.
Yeah, come on, you're all right. Was Morley from Wisconsin or was he from Illinois?
Missouri.
Oh, Missouri.
No. Oh wow, that was on screen.
Oh,
I like how
that.
the ball goes out, then the horn goes probably like 0.3 or 4 seconds later, and Teddy just goes like this. We're just done. That wouldn't happen these days. They go to the monitor and see how much time's
That's
left.
the thing. The ball never bounced. It was one of those ones that is chipped out. So it's wherever it touches a fan or it touches the backboard is where it's technically out of bounds.
Oh, really?
So the clock doesn't stop when it crosses the line.
Wow.
Okay.
So it actually has to hit out of bounds.
It has to hit out of bounds to be out of bounds. That's like
Right.
if you throw the ball up in the air, the clock doesn't stop until it touches. If it touches something on the ceiling, it's out of bounds.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
I was going to ask you a question. So going back just for a second, so you were recruited by Dick Bennett,
Yes.
and then he leaves.
Yep. He
And-
retired.
Retired, and then
Brad Soderberg took over.
so then what were I mean you were redshirting at that
Yep.
point. So did you have any thoughts of like
No.
okay
No. I mean, we never had any thoughts of ever considered leaving or anything. Dick Bennett's told me that that's one of his biggest regrets was not getting to coach me more in college. I mean, he recruited me to come play a 3 there, not play a 4 or 5.
Really?
So he wanted me to come off screens and shoot, and that was where we were going to go was that because he ran the blocker mover type stuff, and he wanted me to kind of come off screens or be a foreman that can come off screens too. So it's just how it worked out. And I mean, when Soderberg, we had a rough year with finishing out with just losing to Georgia State, and we wanted to see where things went after that. And they hired Coach Ryan, and we never looked back from any of that stuff. I know Coach Ryan's first year, we were picked to finish last in the Big Ten. Ended up winning it.
Wow. And that was your first redshirted freshman year.
I mean, the only people that we had back was Trayvon Davis and Charlie Willis. That was the only people that had playing experience coming back.
Wow.
and then that was Devin's freshman year, right?
That was Devin's freshman year.
And your redshirt freshman year.
Yep.
So Devin's a year younger than you, basically.
Yes. Well, technically we were the same. Yeah, he's a year younger, but we were the same grade in school,
Okay.
playing wise. Well, we had Kirk Penny coming back too, but I mean, he was only a sophomore.
Oh, okay. And he was he redshirting? Oh no, this is your senior year. Did he play your redshirt freshman year? Was he playing
Kirk
as a
was
freshman?
playing, yes.
Okay, got it.
And then he went back and played on the national team for New Zealand in the summer months.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, we didn't have a lot of time with him in the summer months because he was busy with that stuff. And
Huh. And what was that redshirt year like? I mean, obviously you could practice.
so we practice all the time against the guys, and I spent a lot of time in the weight room and spent a lot of time actually with some of the football guys. They come in and we play one-on-one after
Oh, really?
after hours, or I go over to the surf or the shell, and we'd just play pickup games against people. And I mean, you'd be on the court for an hour and a half before you ever lost the game, and it's just playing.
Yeah.
So it's just always in the gym. I mean, I spent a lot of time in the gym.
Yeah, no. Getting back to, I guess we'll talk about the college game. Did the Badgers have? I'm assuming obviously they had the strength and conditioning guys. Did they also have nutritionists? Like, I mean, did they talk about what they wanted you eating and have food programs for you?
I mean, we always got one meal a day.
Okay.
So while we were in season, you get one meal a day, whether it be training table or whatnot. They told me not to come back to the farm because every time I came back to the farm away from school, I lost weight.
Really?
So I did different stuff and wasn't eating much. I mean, for me to gain weight, it was over 10,000 calories a day I was eating.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we were burning stuff that fast. I mean, when the tissues, we took body samples, like body fat testing and stuff, and I think the highest I ever was in season was like 4.5%. But I mean, so you're burning burning fat all the time. You're working out. So they were giving me Ensure for extra calories. I was drinking Ensure. And they told me not to drink water, just to drink juice and other fluids that had calories in it. So you're getting all the extra stuff that you could get. But it worked out. I mean, we lifted a ton of weights and got to play we played all the time. And
Was there ever a thought during your red shirt season? I know rules have kind of changed a little bit. Could you have decided to remove the red shirt at some point play?
I could have, but it would have cost me a full year. It wasn't the same as now, where you get so many games to decide on your red shirt. That type of stuff. But so it was, the decision had to be made before the season started. Okay. And if you played 1 minute, then your red shirt was off.
Wow. Yeah, that Joe and I were talking about that. We thought that it was something like that.
Yep.
Because sometimes I'll see a player play couple 3-4 games, and then all of a sudden they won't play the rest of the year, and it's like, I wonder what happened to that guy. And they say, oh, he redshirted.
Yep.
I thought, wait a second, I thought he played.
Nope.
But yeah, the rules are different now.
Well, there's also a lot more games now. I mean, when I left, I was top 10 in 10 different categories in UW history for basketball, and that was minutes played, games played, all that stuff. And now we were playing 25, 26 games a year, and now they're playing 34, 35. So, I mean, there's a lot more games getting played.
Well, and with the COVID year now, everybody gets to play 7 years of college basketball.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was looking up some of your minutes played and stuff like that, and it's like some people will never be able to catch the Walls and the guys that have played for. I think some have played 6 or 7 years, right?
Yeah, it's close.
Yep, that's how Tucker got my offensive rebounding record. He played half the year and then got the medical red shirt, so he got the extra year. Otherwise, he would never have caught my offensive rebounding record.
Yeah.
A lot of asterisks there.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, that's why it's hard to compare players from the past that were only playing 12, 13 games. Or, I mean, you got guys that were just unbelievable. Like, what was it? Sherrod was averaging 20-some points a game for his career or something at UW. Or
wow.
There's some crazy stats.
Well, even that guy almost broke Pistol Pete's record. And Pistol Pete played 3 years.
Yep.
And I don't know how many games.
Right.
83 or something like that.
No
and the other guy,
line.
No 3-point line.
And the other guy played 5 years, I think.
Yep.
And a bunch of games. It's like, wow.
Yep, it's that way across all sports, though. I mean, you have to kind of compare eras instead of players now.
Right. Yeah. Difficult. If you want to just go ahead and...
We've got about 3 more minutes
So
of
what
stuff.
you wanted to do is, we do want to just kind of spin ahead to a few of those highlights. We have a little bit of a highlight reel for some things. I think it was... Oh, actually, this
Indiana was a good game.
You want to talk about that one real quick?
That one ended real interesting.
Okay.
That's the one that Tucker missed. I got the rebound. I missed. Tucker got the layup, made it at the end of the game, and we ended up winning.
Huh.
And this was this one's at Wisconsin. Okay. Yep.
7-2. The Badgers jump ahead.
Says Brent Musburger on the call.
Yeah. You bet.
More crisp than we saw them last week against Michigan State. Left hand, it's Wilkinson in low.
I didn't know Patrick Ewing's son played.
Nope.
Patrick Ewing Jr., right?
Nope.
At the end of the game, his numbers are impressive. Just a competitive, tough individual. I like Robert Baker. And here is Wilkinson stepping out.
Foul?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a foul.
Now, yes. Then, no.
Yeah.
There, how see you get low there.
Yeah.
Good jump stop, the lean, and gets the bounce. Look, shot fake. Commitment there by Ewing. Seeing that, recognizing that drives it, and it's a soft bounce for Big Man with the broad shoulder.
Did you like those Sterling basketballs?
I did. They were soft.
Yeah.
And they didn't get slippery when you got sweaty.
In on Chambliss. Couldn't score it. Ratliff couldn't get to the rebound. Tracked down by Wisconsin. Mike Davis during this stretch.
Big guys handle the ball well.
Yeah.
The Badgers, that was nice to have that.
Well, we never really handled the ball as much as we could have.
Sure.
It was just a very different game.
Looking for answers
Not
there.
thrilled with that.
No, if I remember right, this is the game I had like 19 in the first half.
Yep.
Yep.
He's going, we talked about this in practice. Why are they not? You were going to say, though, about how that, because that's all they had about that one. Did you say how it ended?
Yeah.
Did you say?
Yeah, that was the game that we were down 1, and Tucker shot a jump shot, and he was fading away. So it ended up being an air ball. I caught the air ball under the basket, missed the layup, and off the front of the rim, and Tucker came and cleaned up the layup, made the basket, and got fouled, and we ended up winning by like 2, I think.
I think it was 62-60.
Yep.
That you guys won.
Yeah, but it was just one of those things where when he shot it, you could see that it was going to be short, and I ended up coming just the right place, but then I had to try and shoot it with my back to the basket because I knew the clock was running down.
So I think you had 26 or 28
Yep.
that game.